Well, health experts often warn that excessive internet use can be harmful to your physical and mental health.
But a new study shows using the internet might actually be beneficial to your health as well. Participants in a multi-year-long study who regularly used the internet had roughly half the risk of developing dementia in comparison to those who were not regularly online. More than 18,000 adults between the ages of 50 and 65 years old participated in this study.
Joining us now is one of the researchers behind this study, Virginia Chang. She's an associate professor at New York University School of Global Public Health. It's so good to have you with us, Professor Chang. So we know that 55 million people in the world currently live with dementia. Just yesterday, former First Lady Rosalind Carter made news for publicly declaring that she right now has dementia and trying to bring back the stigma of that. I'm wondering how significant is your study in terms of what it could potentially mean for families who are coping with dementia, people who are living with dementia?
Yeah, so, I mean, dementia, there's no medical cure, and there are some drugs, old and new, that can make the symptoms better, but given those limitations, there's no medical cure. We're really looking at behavioral type things we can look to try to prevent dementia or delay its progression. So in that situation, something like using the internet, right? If that truly has an effect on whether or not you're at risk for dementia, that's an important thing to know because it's a modifiable risk factor. It's easy to implement. It could be done in the home. So it's an important thing to know from both a public health and a clinical standpoint, frankly.
Dr. Chang, are there a certain number of hours that are ideal? Is overuse of the internet counter-effective in this case?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So, you know, we all know that excessive use of internet or social media can be bad for you, and a lot of those studies have been done in younger people, but we don't know as much in older people. And so we did try to look at that in our study, and we found this sort of unexpected U-shaped relationship where using it not at all was not good for you, and using it too much was also not good for you either. So there seems to be this sweet spot somewhere between 1 and 2 hours.
So it's interesting that your study looked at 18,000 people. That's a major study. There were no differentiations between education level, race, ethnicity, sex, or even the generation of the participants. Were you surprised by that? And then also as a follow-up to Nikki's question, I'm also just wondering, the internet's a pretty vast place, and some of the content is total trash,
right.
Whereas other things like
doesn't
reading,
matter what you look at.
It doesn't matter what you're spending your time
I do
on.
want to defend cat videos for a moment. But yeah, so we were really interested in whether there would be a difference by race or education, income, because you know there's differences in the prevalence of dementia by these social factors. So we wanted to know, well, if the internet has an effect, then will it make these disparities worse or better, right? We thought it could make it worse, but we also thought it could make it better if it offers some form of cognitive engagement that's otherwise not available offline. So, but we really didn't find any differences by either gender, race, education, or generationally. So we thought it could go either way, but we didn't find it, any effect. And so I guess we were a little surprised by that.
But was there a difference in what people were accessing online?
So we didn't have that data.
Okay.
So yeah, I think future work would look more closely at exactly what people are doing. And I'm going to hold out for the cat videos.
So we were talking earlier, you know, we're used to, you know, I always say to my parents, do crossword puzzles because we know those are good for your mind and hopefully delaying any dementia. Of course, I'm sure more research is needed to really know the full effects of the internet on dementia. What will the next steps be for you and for your fellow researchers?
So this study it's observational, what we call observational. So we observe what people do, and then we look at if there are differences in outcomes. So if we really wanted to know whether the internet has a causal effect on dementia, we would do more of an experimental setup where we randomize people to use the internet or not, or use it different amounts of time, and follow them going forward from there. I think it would also be interesting to look at some of the mechanisms. If it does have an effect, why? How does this work? We think it might have something to do with cognitive reserve.
It is so interesting. I have to get my dad on the internet.
And I feel like it is an important point that these were older adults, 50 and older. So for our kids, no, it does not mean you get extra internet time. All right.
Yes.
Dr. Chang, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.